You're watching Fantasy Now Plus.
Welcome to this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. It's Wednesday, yep. And we're here to talk about players who were affected by the 2026 NFL draft. No, we're not talking rookies per se where they landed. We're going to talk about veterans who did well by avoiding rookies coming into their team, or their stock fell because Tyler Algier got signed, and then they drafted Love. So we're going to talk about that. So without further ado, let's bring on Justin and let's have fun.
What's up?
What's up, man? First off, before we get started, I want to say big shout out to the chat. Getting old does suck. I see your comment in the chat, my friend. Dude, losing my hearing or vision might be the scariest thing I would ever not want to ever happen to me. So I hope they find out what's going on at the Veterans Hospital. And thank you for commenting and tuning in before that, obviously. But Justin, we have a show. We're not late today. I wasn't late today. You were not late today. But we're going to talk about these rookies and the impact on teams, specifically players. Without further ado, though, I heard you had a question of the day.
Yeah, I do. And this one is for Sean. Should Josh go and see a doctor for his back? One in the chat if you think yes. Two if you think no.
I just got back from the chiropractor. I'm now monthly visits. I used to be weekly visits. Then I went bi-weekly. Now I'm monthly. I'm getting better, guys. It's
good. We're glad.
Gonna struggle. You know what? This is off topic, but I watched the Hulk Hogan documentary, at least the first 2 episodes. If you want to see my commentary on that, Finn's Talk Sports Network, No Holds Barred. We were live last night, me and Bobby Melendez. But I see Hulk Hogan before he died working out, like lifting heavier weight than I could even imagine at that age. And it made me feel like I'm a 40-year-old loser who complains about back problems. I need to get back to it. But that being said, we have some massive players that got drafted to some subpar teams, which is unfortunate. We got questions in the chat. Who's the Dolphins wide receiver 1? Rookie C. Bell. They're not on my list today because I deemed them irrelevant. Sorry, I'm a Dolphins supporter, sympathizer, but I deemed them irrelevant. But I really do. But to answer your question, who's the Dolphins wide? Probably Juwan Jennings.
Not officially.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet, but it's probably going to be Juwan Jennings. So maybe it's Achane. Maybe Achane leads the team in receptions and receiving yards.
Let's see. Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert.
I'm gonna guess. I'm telling y'all. I think it's gonna be Achane. He's gonna lead the Dolphins in receiving and rushing, and win MVP. There you go. Anyway, we have some. Let's just start at the top. Jeremiah Love gets drafted to the Arizona Cardinals. In my dumb mind, I thought this is awesome. They have, this is a need. James Conner is like 50 years old. Trey Benson will never be a thing. He never should have been a thing. He's not a thing. So I'm like, cool, this is awesome. I forgot. I knew. It's not like I knew today. It's not like I researched today and go, oh shoot, no. I forgot at the time that they signed Tyler Algier. And I'm like, now I hate this because I had a lot of Algier stock in my dynasty formats.
Yeah.
So how do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, it's especially bad just because, Tyler Algier was signed to be the lead back, even though they knew they had the 3rd pick overall. And that Jeremiah Love was definitely going to be on the board at the 3rd pick. So going to get Tyler Algier is interesting to me. Sucks for Tyler Algier mostly because, his rookie season, he had a pretty good year, 1,035 rushing yards on a very bad Atlanta Falcons team, 210 rushing attempts. They followed that up by drafting Bijan Robinson, 1,000-yard runner. They drafted Bijan Robinson with the top 10 pick. So Tyler Algier in Bijan's shadows this whole time still does decent. I mean, over 500 yards each of the years, 514 last year, 600 plus the years before, but 8 touchdowns last year. That's pretty good. Goes to Arizona thinking, RB1, I'm here. I finally get my chance. they draft Jeremiah Love with the 3rd pick. So it's especially tough for him, I think. So now no position is ever won immediately. As soon as you get drafted, everybody has to compete. But
no, they don't. Stop with that lie. We all
Jeremiah Love's going to be the
starters.
RB1 for that team. Now,
You know,
is it a 1A, 1B situation? Do we have a Detroit Lions situation where, like, Gibbs and Montgomery did pretty well together with each other? But I don't know.
And that's the fact right there. Arizona still has James Conner and other running backs. They do.
Yeah.
But they're not going to utilize them. Maybe Connor. I could see Connor muddying up the waters a little bit. I don't know his status or how he's feeling personally. Like, I don't really know James Conner that well, but he's getting up there in age.
30.
Right? He backed up Le'Veon Bell. We forget that. Like, he backed up Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell's been out of the league. Like, that's wild to think about. Tell Algier, by the way, this is just pro tips from the Dynasty guy over here at Fantasy Now Plus. When you traded assets away for Algier when he signed, you got to be hot right now. You know there's someone out there or people out there or groups of people out there who thought, ooh, I'm going to get value with Algier. He's a starting running back. I'm going to trade X, Y, and Z. And now we see this. This is why I don't like making dynasty trades before NFL drafts. And this is why I don't like drafting before NFL drafts. That's why I don't like doing startup drafts before NFL drafts, because everything will change in April. It always does. So RIP to all you managers out there who play too early. RIP to you. But you couldn't have given up much, right? Like, definitely not a first or anything, you would think. People get desperate.
Yeah.
Get desperate.
Yeah, yes, I agree with Jamie. Never trade for running backs in the offseason. That they change so quickly, so fast. And just because, you're projected to be the RB1 in February does not mean you're going to be RB1 come June. So
I traded 112 for Rico Dowdle in a league like a week ago. Like, that's okay.
Last week, how that was.
Was it last week?
Yeah.
I still okay. Look at y'all's draft boards now. Look at 112.
No. I mean, we talked about it last week. You didn't trade it last week, but yeah,
I forgot when I traded it. You guys,
Rico Dowdle for the versus whoever you could get at 12 is probably not that bad. It's like Jonah Coleman is projected there. So
sure, that person. So either way, Jeremiah Love is projected to be the starter there in Arizona, which helps the entire team overall. It just hurts your Tyler Algier shares, which you've been holding on for forever. Like, literally, you've been holding on to this person thinking, when's his shot? It's never going to happen, unfortunately. The next one is another running back who I've seen go as early as 102 in Superflex leagues. It's proof. I've sent it in our group chat. Darian Price went to Seattle, and his pick, they picked him at 102 in this particular league because he has opportunity. That's it. Zach Charbonnet, is he going to be back? Is he going to recover fully from the ACL? Is he going to produce in 2026? So people are drafting Darian Price thinking he's going to make a sudden impact on the Seattle Seahawks team. I don't know, man. I'm not drafting him that high, but man, it doesn't really, to me, affect Zach Charbonnet that much because I don't expect much from Zach Charbonnet this season. I'll say you, sir.
Oh, with this being an especially terrible rookie draft for this year, specifically in Dynasty, I think Jadarian is a first-round pick. I do not think he's a top 4 pick. Maybe not even a top 5. The opportunity is good. I like the opportunity, with Zach Charbonnet tearing his ACL, right before the playoffs or during the playoffs. I mean, he's likely not going to be ready week 1.
No.
But he could be ready week 5 after he gets off the PUP list. But at that point, Jadarian Price has 4 weeks to prove that he could be a lead back and replace Kenneth Walker. Now, Jadarian Price was RB2 for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish behind Jeremiah Love. He's never reached over 800 rushing yards on the season. Even playing 16 games, he only had 746 yards. So he's never been the lead back, which is maybe actually a pretty good role for him on the Seahawks offense, because there's not really good. There hasn't been a lead back in Seattle since Marshawn Lynch. Like, I feel like we had Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker didn't do great enough and was kind of injured. So they got Zach Charbonnet. So then they ran both of them. It's never been one running back. So them having a split backfield is probably the best for them. But I'm not loving it in fantasy. It's like having Zach Charbonnet. Like,
can I just say the thing with Zach Charbonnet is we don't know what they were going to use him for. Last year, he was used for touchdowns, 12 touchdowns last season to Kenneth Walker's 5. Were they going to draft a running back anyway to take over the Kenneth Walker role and keep Zach Charbonnet where he is? It's kind of like, why would you change if that's where Zach Charbonnet fits, where the red zone guy, the guy who's going to score touchdowns, the guy who has the eye for the goal line, keep him in that role. Why would you put him in now you're the lead back because you're a running back? Well, maybe it doesn't fit that. Maybe they don't see him that way. So back to the effect on the veterans, I don't think this is going to affect Charbonnet whatsoever. I think Charbonnet is going to be doing his thing when he comes back, scoring his touchdowns, averaging his 4.0 yards per carry, and just, a little bit under 900 yards rushing, where I can see them using this new rookie as like, all right, you're in between the 20s. And once we hit the red zone, all right, Zach, we need you. That's the way I see it. Yeah. So I don't think this is a much effect on Zach Charbonnet at all, but I do think it's going to help that Seattle Seahawks offense overall in the long run.
Yeah.
Next guy on our list, next veteran. Remember, we're talking veterans, people. Wan'Dale Robinson, just kind of like Algier. But Wan'Dale signs his big contract in Tennessee, trying to help out Cam Ward. They drafted Chamir DK. I'm bad with names. And they drafted Elick Aomanor, which, look at me pronouncing that correctly. And now they draft Carnell Tate.
Hold on, you can say Elick, but you can't say Alec.
Alex?
Okay.
Carnell Tate is a superstar. Carnell Tate, I'm not going to do the whole Malik Neighbors thing like I did last season or 2 seasons ago when he went to Brian Daboll and he went to one of the worst offenses in the world. I guess we're doing the same thing. Carnell Tate's going to Brian Daboll in one of the worst offenses in the world. But how does this affect Wan'Dale Robinson? I don't think it does. I think Wan'Dale's a different player. I think Wan'Dale's going to find his way where she does with Malik Neighbors. He was going head-to-head with Malik Neighbors with targets before Malik Neighbors was injured last year or the year before. Wan'Dale Robinson and himself both were getting massive amount of targets. Both were in the top 5 when healthy in the entire league for the New York Giants. So I do believe Wan'Dale Robinson and Carnell Tate can share the workload, but how do the other guys fit in? Because DK was showing flashes last year, I should say last season. I don't think this is going to hurt Wan'Dale at all. I think this hurts DK, and I think it hurts Elick Aomanor, but I don't know what would be expected from those people anyway. How do you think?
140 targets the last 2 seasons. It's 280 targets in 2 seasons for Wan'Dale. Mm-hmm. We talk about somebody that takes a lot of targets, 92 and 93 receptions respectively. He's very good between the 20s. He only has 7 touchdowns over the last 2 years in that span as well. So it's not like he's getting a ton of touchdowns with the receptions. He's just getting a lot of opportunity. It's also 5'8", 185 pounds. Carnell Tate is 6'3", 195. They're 2 completely different bodies. And in fact, Carnell is 6'3", 195. Like, he's lean, like kind of like really lean. It's not even like he is like a Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson type. He's pretty lean. Who this hurts the most is actually Calvin Ridley, who fits more of that same body style. Calvin Ridley's not a starter. Don't get me wrong. But if you have Calvin Ridley for some reason, you should just drop him. Like, there's no There's no coming back from this.
He didn't retire.
He did not retire.
He still plays football.
He still plays football.
People still count on him. People still roster him.
People still roster him.
Right on, brothers. You guys do you. But I agree with
100% of leagues roster him right
There's
now.
no way. Those are inactive leagues, brother. We need to fix these.
Have
Anyway,
have to be.
we have another wide receiver being drafted where there's an elite wide receiver there already, and that's Chris Olave for the New Orleans Saints. He adds Jordan Tyson to his, I guess, meeting rooms and his group over there in the wide receiver room. Tyler Shuck is going to get an upgrade with this. Like, that's a big, massive upgrade for Tyler Shuck, of course. But Chris Olave, target monster, high volume kind of player. We all know who Chris Olave is at this point. Not going to be this top superstar. He's not going to be Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, but he's not going to be bum T. Higgins as well. He's going to be in that range of, I'm sorry, T. I love you. I'm sorry. But he's not going to be low. He's going to be right there, that 11 to about 18 range. Does this knock him down a peg because he doesn't have that explosiveness that the other players do, like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
Olave?
Yeah, Olave. Does this hurt him?
I don't think it hurts him. I'm more concerned about I guess I was concerned about his injury history, but he only missed one game last season and still finished as wide receiver 6. I'm not concerned about Olave losing out here on anything really. And yeah, they do have Vele still. Jordan Tyson has only played one season in college for the full season. Last year he missed games. Sophomore year he missed a bunch of games. Actually had no stats as sophomore year, even playing 3 games. But the one season where he did finish all 12 games or played in all 12, he had 1,100 yards. I'm not terribly concerned that this I think helps him more. It actually gives him a wide receiver 2. It gives him a second receiver in general because we know they don't really have the tight end position figured out either. So I think this has a better opportunity of opening Chris Olave up more than it hurts him.
I sure hope so. He averaged 16.8 fantasy points per game last year. I think over 150 targets. I think 156 to be exact. Chris Olave needs production, like as in targets. He needs the volume to be productive. And I hope Jordan Tyson doesn't come in here and mess it all up for him. But honestly, they don't have anybody else. So you're right. I agree. Chris Olave is going to be fine. He takes a little hit, just a little hit, but not big enough to be concerned about, in my opinion. This helps out Tyler Shuck, though, in that offense. Am I saying that right? Shuck?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. Next one on my list is another wide receiver. My favorite wide receiver that we're going to talk about today. And I'll never quit you. I don't care what team you play for. You could play for the New York Jets.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Definitely not him. We're talking Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets. Target monster, one of the best wide receivers in the world. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. He gets a lot of people coming to him. He gets a new tight end, who I just drafted today at 108. I feel pretty good about it. Kenyon Sadiq. And then he has this Omar Cooper Jr. fella joining his team. But honestly, I don't think this messes with him at all. I don't think Garrett Wilson is affected whatsoever. He is so far and away the alpha there. He needs to get 160 targets. I believe he will if he plays all the games. Last year, he only played 8 games and had 59 targets. I don't blame him for not wanting to come back or maybe not being able to come back. This year should be different, though. How do you think about this? And honestly, we didn't even talk about Mason Taylor, how it affects him. People were all on Mason Taylor last year. And now he's been replaced by this new rookie. Talk about it.
Mason, we talked about this on the stream when we were covering this. Mason Taylor is pretty much dead. I mean, they immediately replaced him after 1 year where he only had 65 targets last year. Now, how much can we actually blame the receivers for the target load in New York last year versus how much should we actually be blaming the quarterback situation there last year? They do have Geno Smith back. I do say back. He is back with the New York Jets. Let's hope they get the Seattle Geno Smith and not the Las Vegas Geno Smith, because those were 2 completely different quarterbacks. Now for Garrett Wilson, I think Omar Cooper Jr. helps him because again, Garrett Wilson has been the sole alpha in the receiving game. And there's just like Olave, there's been absolutely nobody else to take off double coverages. Omar Cooper Jr. is an elite college wide receiver. I think he does have the potential to be a solid number 2. I'm not saying Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, like maybe a level down from Jamar Chase, T. Higgins level. But I think the two of them could do pretty well. Add in Kenyon Sadiq in there. Now, this does take a lot of pressure off of Adonai Mitchell having to be that wide receiver 2, where he can go back to being a wide receiver 3 or 4 like he really should be.
I was about to say he can go back to being retired or
Irrelevant.
whatever he was doing before.
Absolutely.
Whatever he was doing before. Like
Yeah.
we're done. But target just in context with Garrett Wilson. Besides last year, he was on pace for 140 targets last year before his injury. 2023 had 168 targets. 2022 147 targets. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is; they know who the best player on that team is, at least especially on the offense. And we know it's Garrett Wilson. Who has the most targets since 2022? Does anyone know? Does anyone know?
Did you just look it up?
I've known this. This is in my OneNote. Yes, I have a OneNote, people, for the offseason, and it's complete and it's good, and I don't have to search.
It's Garrett Wilson.
No, it's Devontae Adams, but Garrett Wilson is in the top 5.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on to the next guy.
Hold on. St. Brown or Jackson Smith Najigba?
Oh, JSN. I've always been on the JSN bandwagon. Don't want to say like I've been there before everybody else, but he's just my guy. Love him.
I know. And Raphael thinks it's St. Brown. So
I mean, that's fine
no,
too.
Like, he was answering the question. Never mind. Sorry. This was
okay.
But yeah, I just did JSN as well.
From the 2022 thing. It was Devontae Adams, you gotta think about it. Like he's always getting targeted, man. It's insane.
Well, yes, back in 2022, he was still with Green Bay at that time too, right? He was in Las Vegas at that point. Okay. That's his first year. 180 targets.
Still racking up targets, brother.
Insane.
Like he's one of the best of all time. All right, we talked a little bit about Carnell Tate a little earlier today, but we're going to talk about the impact on Cameron Ward. He is the Titans quarterback, as you know. Kind of struggled last season. I think struggling is a understatement. I didn't like the way he played. But he had a lot of pressure. He was making a lot of mistakes. When I mean pressure by people were coming at him, trying to kill him, like on every play. He had no time. Completed under 60% of his passes, averaged 5.9. Is that true? 5.9 yards per completion? That can't be true. Can't be true.
It was pretty low.
186 yards per game. You would have to think adding this alpha rookie receiver is going to help him out because, guys, can anyone name the leading receiver for the Tennessee Titans last year? He's not there anymore. And it was 560 yards. Okonkwo.
Yep.
560 yards was the leading receiver for the Tennessee Titans last season. Elick Aomanor was second for 515 yards. And then we all know DK came in strong at the end, 423 yards. Take all those numbers together. I don't think you get one elite receiver. So this has to help Cam Ward in a tremendous way, but I don't know how much. That's my worry, Justin. Is he going to be draftable for any kind of super flex leagues? These numbers show no, like from last year. No.
I want to say it will help him adding what should be an elite wide receiver. We know what Big Ten wide receivers do in the NFL. I'm sorry, Ohio State wide receivers do in the NFL. It's kind of like LSU, or it's LSU or Ohio State as the wide receiver university. You could throw out Alabama in there as well. But those two schools produce wide receivers, and this is supposed to be the next big one. I mean, we're talking about guys like JSN, Marvin Harrison,
Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. The dude
we're missing somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure we are, and it's fine.
Do we
Yeah,
say JSN?
anyway. I think so. Probably. If I didn't, then JSN. So this just adds to another list of guys. But are we looking at Marvin Harrison or are we looking at JSN right here? And that's the question: is which wide receiver version from Ohio State are we getting to Cam Ward? He doesn't have a ton of help outside of that. I mean, yeah, they drafted the running back Nick Singleton, who's had injury history over the last couple of years in college. And you can't even look at the Ohio State quarterbacks and say, well, it's the quarterbacks that made Cornell Tate that good. Because, yeah, okay, CJ Stroud in 2022, which actually I don't think he was there yet. Kyle McCord, who went to Syracuse. Will Howard, they won a national championship together. He's obviously very good, right? Will Howard. And then Julian Sayin was just okay. I mean, freshman of the year. So it's not like he was a product of a quarterback. So I'm hoping that does help Cam Ward in fantasy only.
That's what we want because he was the number one pick, obviously, out of Miami. Tennessee is putting all their stock in them and helping him. They're hiring Brian Daboll, thinking that he's going to be an offensive coordinator genius or turn Cam Ward around. And I hope they do because if you look at the trends from last season, if you look at like which people do, oh, what do you do? Oh, shoot, starting around week 12, he kind of got it right. 23.9 fantasy points against Seattle. Played Jacksonville and stunk it up. Then he played Cleveland, stunk it up again. But he was showing signs of life, giving you those double-digit points. Cam Ward averaged 11 fantasy points per game last season. And in the last 12 weeks, he was giving you 23 points, 15 points, 18 points, 17 points. Like he was finding ways to give you fantasy football points. And that's what we want from Cam Ward. If you take like a player like Daniel Jones, for example, you give him a player like you put him in an offense like Indianapolis where it's a one-read offense. You know to throw it to Tyler Warren. You know how to find Alec Pierce. You know how to find Michael Pittman. It can work out for that quarterback. That's why I was so high on Daniel Jones last year because I knew he was going to a stable offense. I don't know if I could be so firm on Cam Ward this season because I don't think it's enough. I think he needs more to be successful than just one wide receiver. This is not the NBA where you can just find one point guard or one shooting guard and it changes the entire team. This is the NFL where you need all five guys on the offensive line to be in sync, aligned, as they say in the corporate world. I don't think they are there yet. So I don't think this is going to help Cam Ward, but is it going to put him from quarterback? Where did he finish last year? Let me go back to my handy dandy one note over here. Is he going to finish quarterback 23, which he finished last season? Or is he going to get up in that 18 to 15 range? I don't know if he makes that jump.
I would say he probably fits in the 18 range this year. I don't think he's, top worthy. He is a very fringe flex player at best, like super flex player at best. He's not going to be your starting quarterback in 1 QB leagues. We could, if the Titans continue to make jumps in the draft, actually support him.
Good luck to Cam Ward in that Brian Daboll offense. Couple other guys we want to get to. Some guys who dodged. They dodged bullets. I thought New York was going to find somebody to play running back. I like Cam Skattebo. Do I think he's a gimmick? I do. I don't think he's long-term. I don't think he's the answer. I think he's a gimmick player who's fun to watch. And he produced, much to my chagrin. I didn't think he was going to, but he avoided everything. There was no running back drafted there. He's still the guy. He doesn't believe in CTE, but they drafted an offensive lineman, a very, very good offensive lineman, an offensive lineman that people were wanting. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that guy's name. I'm not, but I'm just going to say he's one of the Samoans guys. Like, isn't he a Samoan guy?
I believe so, yes.
Samoans are so badass too. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, right? The Usos. Now we got Francis Magua. Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I don't really focus on offensive linemen, so.
But it's a huge thing for the New York Giants. They needed this, and Cam Skattebo definitely dodged bullets. I just had to throw that out there. Breece Hall, running back Jets.
He still had a very gruesome leg injury, and We got to temper expectations on Cam.
I know, I understand that, but he dodged a bunch of bullets. They didn't try to replace him, or maybe they like Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, they might like Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, do they like Tyrone Tracy? Like that's something that we didn't write on the sheet here, but they didn't add. I thought they were going to add. I thought there was going to be an addition.
I did too. I thought multiple times there was a running back right there to take, and they just went right off and picked somebody else. So next up,
we already talked about Shock. We talked about Shock.
Yeah,
we can move. We can move on to who I predict. I've already said this on this broadcast, not this broadcast, but this channel. Deshaun Watson is going to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns. It's common sense. If you don't think so, then I'm sorry. I think they're setting up Deshaun Watson well here with some decent pass catchers that are going to help him. You pass that along with, or you add that with Jerry Jeudy and Fannin, of course. I mean, you put Shadir Sanders as well, which, okay, let's just say quarterbacks. I do think this helps this offense. Do I think they're going to be good? No, I don't think the Browns are going to be good, but I think adding any kind of bodies there because they needed it. And especially Shadir Sanders, if they're going to go with him, yes, keep the core young, get them all involved, get chemistry going. Don't add like a Stephon Diggs to the team. That wouldn't help anybody. I like the route they went, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson, and I think he's going to be bad again. And I think we eventually see Shadir Sanders. I think we see both quarterbacks this season. I know it's not a prediction. Who do we see? But what do you think, Justin?
I think we do see both quarterbacks this season. We haven't seen Deshaun Watson since 2024, since he tore his Achilles in training camp last year, I think. So, new coaching staff. I don't want to make any predictions yet, but yeah, the reports today are that Deshaun Watson does seem to have the inside track at starting this year.
I reported that like months ago. Why don't I get credit? Why don't I get credit?
Not a big name.
I know, but why don't I get credit? Where's my stuff? When I was calling the Aaron Rodgers, when I was calling the Daniel Jones, where's my stuff? Where's my flowers? Where's Fantasy Now Plus flowers? Share the stream. Tell them you heard it here first before these inside tracks, brother. You got anything else to say? I'm pissed now.
Yeah, Jamie, go to that message and say that Josh reported this months ago.
Literally, it's because you know what, guys? Because I had this thing called common sense. It's right here. If you come to me for common sense, go to everyone else for their little stats. I got common sense. Period. Like it's not hard, guys. It's really not hard. But I'm glad that people are getting on track. I'm glad I was drafting him last year. Not that I'm a fan of this guy, but it's just common sense. AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has already linked him to being traded starting June 1st. It's already been said that he's being traded June 1st. So Mekhi Lemon getting drafted there cements AJ Brown to being traded, and everybody thinks it's going to be New England. So he's going to go from Jalen Hurts, who likes to run the ball into the end zone, to Drake May, who can actually use him. So
yeah, I'm excited for Mekhi Lemon to be a massive bust over there. Just because F Philly, honestly. No, but if we're talking real life, this affects Devontae Smith as well.
Yeah.
Because is he going to be the wide receiver one there now, or like I don't think they had a wide receiver one, even though they had one in AJ Brown, or they still do technically. They didn't treat him as one. They would just make him invisible certain games. Once he started reading books on the sidelines, that's when you knew he was checked out, or he was kind of disconnected, or the team was whatever happened there, right?
Yeah.
And we saw last season what happened. It's like she was doing so well when they got him the ball. Now they bring in this Lemon kid, and I'm sorry, I don't know much about him except for he's a somewhat stud with character issues. Is he going to do well when he doesn't get as many? What I'm saying is he going to be complaining too because he's only getting 2 to 3 targets? Like if you were the Philadelphia GM, wouldn't you go in there with expectations? Hey, you know how we run our system. Some games you might just be phased out. Like they have to have these conversations with these kids. I'm assuming I would, at least. With that being said, AJ Brown going to New England is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Drake May have a real like big target other than these guys that he's had. And I'm also excited to see what Devontae Smith can do when he's kind of not by himself, but as the alpha veteran, because I feel like he's always been plan B. He's never been the guy. And now he finally gets to be the guy. And I'm excited for it. And Stowers was the
Mekhi
better pick,
Lemon
yes.
also affects the Steelers as well, because
Oh yeah.
the Eagles decided to jump them. As Mekhi Lemon is on the phone with the Steelers, being told that he's about to get drafted, he then gets drafted by the Eagles instead. So
Dirtbags, dude.
That was
Eagles are
great.
such
In
the
Pittsburgh.
fans,
In
the GMs,
Pittsburgh.
dude. Everything associated with Philadelphia, dirt bags. But you know what?
State of
That's why we.
Pennsylvania.
That's
State
why
of
we like them.
Pennsylvania.
Is it the whole state? I've never been.
I mean, you got Penn State and Jerry Sadusky, you got Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
I guess you're right, man. I guess you're right. Let's go look at. Let me click on my Philadelphia tab right here. Devontae Smith last year did lead the whole Eagles with receiving 1,008 yards. AJ Brown had 1,003. AJ Brown had 121 targets. It's not bad. 15 games too. So he did miss 2 games. Like people are like throwing, computers in the ground because of him. I don't know why I said that, but he still had a decent season. But Stowers, I don't know how to say his name. I do think he's the bigger addition over Lemon. Goddard last year, we saw him get 11 touchdowns. They like to use tight ends. Jalen Hurts likes to utilize his tight end as well. This massively affects Dallas Goedert in a big way, but not this season, obviously, right? I don't think Stowers is going to make a big impact right away, especially when they still have Dallas Goedert still on the team, right? Like I didn't miss that news.
As far as I know, yeah, he is still on the team.
He is. That's what I thought. So I don't think this is a big. I think for this season, if we're talking redraft, which we are, yes, Lemon's a bigger addition, but later on down the road, I think Stowers is.
Yeah,
for Jalen Hurts and for that football team. And last but not least, man, my guy, Zay Flowers. Apparently, you think he's been affected because they drafted. I didn't add this, but you did. So I want you to explain yourself. They added 2 big-bodied wide receivers to play outside with Jacoby Lane and Elijah Sarratt. My thing is, and don't take this the wrong way, people. I love Lamar Jackson. I want to just preference that. And if any of you are drafting Drake May above Lamar Jackson in Dynasty, you're a sicko. By the way, I've seen it. I've seen y'all. Drake May's going 102, 103. You're sick. Lamar's the guy still, but he can't support multiple receivers. He can't. Maybe the offense is new. Maybe they're going to change things up. Maybe, but I haven't seen it yet. And how long has Lamar Jackson played football? And how many times have they added DeAndre Hopkins or Rashad Bateman or name big receiver? Never works.
I'm confused when you actually said a good player.
Who was that good player?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're not adding like talent. You're just saying names.
Rashad Bateman was highly touted over Jacoby Lane and Elijah Sarratt. I'll tell you that right now, brother. Rashad Bateman was supposed to be good. And I think he would have been really good if he landed on a team that threw the ball a ton.
Would he? I mean.
No, Craig, I'm going to preference this. And I'm sorry, this is off topic. I really like Drake May too. I love Drake May. But this happens every single year. Last year was Jaden Daniels. How did that work out for you? I think the year before that was CJ Stroud. How did that work out for everybody? Then before that, it was Justin Fields because he had that 6 games against bad defenses. It's people over, and they were all going above Lamar Jackson and studs. It was like Josh Allen and like the new hotness of last year. And Drake May, I was calling this last year, like week 10. Everyone's going to overdraft Drake May. I love Drake May too. Just not at that ADP. 100% not at that ADP. I don't like it. Let's get back to Zay Flowers. Go back and tell me good players. So you think Jacoby Lane and Elijah Sarratt
is better than 33-year-old DeAndre Hopkins and Rashad Bateman? Yes, I do. This does affect Zay Flowers because you can't only throw the ball to Zay Flowers. This is going to take him off the field more. And it's going to add actual receiving weapons. They wouldn't have drafted 2 wide receivers if they didn't think there was a weakness in that room. And yeah, like you said, completely new offense, completely new head coaching staff, like a new coaching staff altogether. This offense is not going to be the same as it has been over the last 8 years with Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to assume that they're going to try to air that ball out more. Now, Zay Flowers does have 100 plus targets each of those 3 years that he's played in the NFL. Wide receiver 7 last year, 1,200 yards. Yes, it's great.
Awesome.
And that's all going to be, I'm not saying this negatively impacts him or positively impacts him. It's just, it does impact him because he's going to be playing more in the slot than he is on the outside. He played a lot on the outside last year at 5'9". Adding 2 guys that are 6'3", I'm sorry, 6'2", and Jacoby Lane is also 6'4". They're going to be on the outside, not on the inside. So I think this helps Zay on coverage because it's going to, like, he's going to be playing the nickel corner, not corner 1.
So Lamar Jackson only ran the ball 67 times last season for 349 yards. That's really low for Lamar Jackson, I think. He only threw for 2,500 yards, but he only played in 13 games. This, I think, helps Lamar, but hear me out. Do you think it hurts Lamar? Like, I think it helps. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but do you think it hurts Lamar fantasy-wise? Not NFL-wise, not player-wise, fantasy-wise. Because if he's sitting in the pocket, he's not getting rushing yards, and rushing yards are more important in fantasy than passing yards. And if he's only running for 349 yards, I know I just made this whole thing about don't draft Drake May ahead of Lamar. I know. But if he's only going to throw for 2,500 yards and rush for 349, that's not a quarterback I want to draft, especially in the first round.
We're hoping he doesn't only play 13 games this season too.
Oh, I understand that, Justin, but aren't you concerned with his rushing output last season? It seemed like last year he didn't want to do it. Like, he's like, I'm getting, as Danny Glover said in Lethal Weapon 2, I'm getting too old for this shit. So maybe they are adding these big bodies, and the coaching staff's like, dude, we're not going to have our all-pro MVP quarterback for much longer if he's rushing the ball for 900 yards a season. No one can do it for that long.
He's only had one season where he's had over 4,000 passing yards, and that was 2024 when he was QB1. They might be trying to get back to being a 4,000-yard passer.
That'd be a phenomenal.
He still had 915 rushing yards that season.
Yeah, that would be, but that was how long ago?
2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago I was doing
2024.
2 years ago I could do 25 pull-ups straight without losing my breath and losing.
Yeah, but you're also saying Lamar Jackson QB1, so it's like, what are we looking at? He was QB20 last year.
I know he was because of, I don't know what the F they were doing with him last year. I really don't know. 349 rushing yards. Like, I knew it was low, but I'm looking at it right now going, that's lower than I expected. That's not good. He needs the rushing floor. He needs to hit 500 yards rushing floor to be super effective, in my opinion. Because I don't think he's going to throw for 4,000 yards regularly, unless these rookies are they're not. Sorry.
Okay, so in 2024, he had 53.8 rushing yards per game.
Which that's
last year he had 27.
That's almost half. So like, yeah, that's like half. That's not good. It's not good. And if you're telling me you're going to contain Lamar and you're going to say, hey, stay in the pocket, man, I might be out. I might be out on Lamar this year. Holy crap.
What quarterback are you on this year? Because so far it's been zero.
We're doing that show. We're doing that show already. You want me?
No, I'm just. You're out on Drake May. You're out on.
I'm not out on Drake May. I'm out on Drake May because of his ADP.
Lamar Jackson. Oh, it's Caleb Williams. That's right. You think it's Caleb Williams?
Yes, it's Caleb Williams.
Kyler Murray, of course. Kyler Murray.
Yes, it's Kyler Murray.
So we got Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams, QB1 and QB2.
I wouldn't say Kyler Murray will be quarterback one. But as far if that happens, guys, and if that happens,
where's the number one?
That's
why.
If more of these experts, the big platforms, keep on stealing my takes when I said them months ago, if I see a Kyler Murray quarterback one from any kind of legit person, I'm gonna be hot. Like I'm coming in hot because people be stealing my stuff all the time. I about had enough of it. I'm just kidding.
I
guys.
think
Just kidding.
I don't know that you can
But for
steal
real.
if they don't see it.
Well, that's why you guys all watching
Kylie-
here need to share, like, and subscribe so they can see us. So guess what? So whenever whoever Tom Pelissaro guy says, "Oh, Deshaun Watson has the streak or a hot route to start," you could say, "Yeah, Josh Kimmel, Fantasy Now Plus said that back in February, brother." And then we could be seen. So do that for us. We appreciate you all here at Fantasy Now Plus. Justin, I'm wrapping up the show because I got to get back to work. Any last comments before we head off? Before I close the show?
Sign up for
Who's going to
Super
start
League.
for Arizona? Sorry. Hold on. So who's going to start for Arizona in quarterback 1? It's going to be Jacoby Brisket. Right? Right? Yes. Maybe. Where's Russell Wilson going to be? I heard the Jets.
Don't care.
I heard that this morning on Dan Patrick that he's going to be the Jet. And I'm stealing it, so I'm going to say I said it.
No,
Screw you, Dan Patrick.
You can't steal it from Dan Patrick. Because, hold on. Where'd it go? Somebody said it in the chat earlier.
I'm going to start stealing stuff. Say I said it first. Yeah, I think Brisket's going to hold the starting.
If you said Russell Wilson to the Jets in the chat, please tell me, because I know it's in here.
It wasn't me. I didn't say it.
No, I know it wasn't you. You steal from other people, and then
I don't steal from nobody.
you.
I steal from my heart. I steal from my heart, brother. I talk with my chest. I am such an idiot. I like Sam Darnold too. Listen, I like quarterbacks that are lower ADP. I try to find value in quarterbacks because when you draft Drake May at 103 this year, there's no way he's going to give you that value. The return on investment will not be good. There it is. In our chat, breaking news. Not Geno Smith, Russell Wilson to the Jets. All right, let's wrap it up. Super League. Make sure you sign up. If you're one of those people that you have friends that like fantasy football and you've already signed up for Super League, share it with a friend. Tell them. Wait, hold on. Are outsiders allowed to win this prize?
Yes.
Okay. If you get a reference, if you tell someone, hey, sign up for this awesome free league, that's the best ball that you don't really have to manage. If you want to do waivers, you can. I don't do them. But if you want to, you can. Sign up. Tell them to write your name down because you will win a prize. I don't know what that prize is, but Justin can tell you.
You could potentially win a prize. Your name gets put into a drawing with everybody else that has also referred people. So the more people you refer, the more entries you get. So be sure to join. Be sure to sign up. Be sure to get other people to sign up. We're looking for more. We're halfway to our numbers from last year, and we're going to increase. I'm just going to tell you that. We're going to increase. It's very interesting. If you've never played in Super League, we are combining all of the standings together. So you could be ranked 142nd place out of all of the leagues. And then at the very end, we have one giant playoff where everybody's playing against each other, and we get down to one single champion. And then the champion gets a little ring. So
you want to show that ring so they can see it actually?
Well, this isn't the ring. This is kind of a ring that it would look like, but
customized.
Yeah,
It has it'll have Super League 4 on it. It'll have your name on it.
It'll have your name on it. It'll have Super League 4 on it. So our winner last year got his here recently. So be sure to join.
Yes, be sure to join and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not, either here in Fins Talk Sports Network as well. We're live every single Wednesday, as you guys all know. But I didn't know this, and I'm such a bad person, I guess. We go live Monday nights and do best ball drafts with Brian and Tim. That was a blast to watch, by the way. So if you're into best ball and you want some best ball tips, make sure you watch Tim and Brian on Monday nights. Are we live any other time in this off season, or is it just us and Tim and Brian?
So far, us and Tim. We'll announce more as more things come out.
Right on, guys. Well, I will see you guys next week. It's been a blast. Thank you for joining us. And join our Discord too. I'm not there, but join our Discord. Oh, and follow us on Blue Sky. Anything else, Justin? I feel like this is preseason form in the show.
Yeah. Jamie needs to make sure his friend actually did sign up because he didn't sign up.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie.
See everybody.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.